On the air everywhere, this is New England Broadcasting.
Hey, I got a special for you today. It's the roast beef. No. This is an interview special. Every once in a while, we decide to talk to a lot of experts in a lot of different fields to give you information and sometimes to entertain you. We're going to hear about medical news, cooking, getting ready for the holidays, all kinds of things, all kinds of services and people and things and you name it. So we're going to do that now. So sit back, relax. Here we go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
On this particular extra program, it's all interviews all the time, just on this episode. Here we go. Hi, Tony. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Ron?
I'm great. Tony Fiahlo joins us now. He's a director of culinary and innovation at Boston Market. It's a title I wish I had, but I don't. So we'll talk to Tony instead. This is the, Thanksgiving. Here we go again. And, Tony's with Boston Market, and you're a chef, no question about it. Am I right?
I am, Ron.
Absolutely. Now, it's supposed to be the time of year when you gather with your family and put up with them for a number of hours, but you really should spend time with them. A lot of people are all stressed about the cooking and all the side dishes and the turkey and everything that goes with it, and they don't really have time to talk and do the Thanksgiving thing with the other people. So you've got kind of an answer for that.
We really do, Ron. You know, here at Boston Market, we like to say that we're the holiday experts, and we have everyone's Thanksgiving meal covered.
Yeah, that's pretty much the case. Now, for those that have been to Boston Market, this is some good stuff. This is great food, and we're familiar with the chicken, and a lot of people may not be familiar that you do the turkey.
Yeah, some people aren't, Ron. So, you know, really what we like to do is provide complete holiday meals, everything from the pre-cooked appetizers all the way down to the traditional desserts like apple and pumpkin pie,
Yep.
Your turkey, your stuffing, all that stuff. One of my personal favorites and really one of our most popular meal kits is our complete turkey meal for 12.
Oh,
it's 12. Fully cooked. It includes all the holiday staples like I just spoke about, the mashed potatoes, the gravy. We have spinach artichoke dip, your cranberry walnut relish.
Wow.
Comes with heating directions. Everything is cooked. You just go to bostonmarket.com. We have all kinds of different meal selections. You just pick and choose, and we ship it to your door.
For 12 people, that's like the whole thing. That's the whole deal.
And really, we're talking about $10 a person, more or less, to feed a family of 12. So you can't beat it.
That's really, and it's actually delivered?
It's delivered. So our actual cutoff date on this is by Sunday, November 24th. If folks can go on bostonmarket.com, go through our selection of the different menu items that we have available for delivery. You place that order, and it shows up at your door. And all you have to do is heat and serve.
I mean, now I've been to Boston Market a number of times, and I mean the quality is consistent, and that's very important because every time you go there, you're getting top shelf stuff that always tastes great. When you're doing the thing at home, things can happen. but I've always loved the sides at Boston Market, the side dishes. They're just great.
Thanks, Ron. I appreciate it. Yeah. We're really excited to offer a lot of our sides, with the delivery. I mean, it's just home cooked food. We keep it consistent. We keep everything fresh. And we're here to support everyone's Thanksgiving.
Okay. Now, have you heard anything where like someone will order this and they get to food and the people come over and they don't tell them that it came from Boston Market?
Right, you want to take all the credit. You want to be the superstar for your family holiday, right? I mean, that's part of it, right? Yeah, we have no issue with that, Ron. We want people to take all the credit and make sure that their families are happy, and I mean that's part of it, right? But I mean the food is delicious. You know, it does taste like you cooked it there at home, so you could fool Aunt Jackie and Uncle Dave. Yeah, I mean we're the real deal.
Yeah. How did you know I had an Aunt Jackie and an Uncle Dave?
Someone just told me. A little birdie told me.
Oh, wow. Because Uncle Dave is weird. And I don't know. I'm so surprised you knew that. Now, okay. The delivery part, how does that work actually?
So all you do is go on bostonmarket.com. We do have a few different selections, you know, like the turkey meal for 12 that I spoke about. Right. You just place your order online, place it by November 24th. It will actually be delivered to your door before Thanksgiving. Okay. So then you can lay everything out. You have all the cooking and heating directions there, and you're ready to go.
Okay. Is this can be stored in a refrigerator, or is it a freezer kind of deal?
Can be stored in your refrigerator. That's correct. We ship everything. It's nice and preserved, you know, chilled, and then we have the heating directions. You just put it in your fridge, and the turkey day comes. Wow. You heat and serve and take that credit.
Wow. And if you have the kind of house where the kitchen is separate, you know, then you don't let anybody in the kitchen. You say, no, I'm cooking. I don't want anybody in the kitchen, but you don't tell them it's the Boston Market. They'll never know. They'll never know.
While you're throwing the bags and boxes away, right? Right. I'm busy.
No, I'm busy, right? Yeah. What bags? What boxes? What about that, Uncle Dave? Okay. All right. So how do I go about doing this? Let's say there's not a Boston Market right around the corner for me.
Right. So if there's not, just go on bostonmarket.com. Wow. We have a brand new rotisserie rewards program as well, Ron. I want to tell folks about. You can redeem, you redeem cash. You spend some money there on the food. You redeem it for free food, basically. So we have a great rotisserie reward system. Just go on bostonmarket.com and we've got you covered.
Wow. I bet if I get the dinner for 12 thing, I can get a nice little thing on the side.
There you go.
All right. And how much does it cost to have Tony come over and cook for you?
Oh, we'll have to talk about that offline, Ron. I've got some special prices for you, but I just want to make sure it's a first-class flight out there.
Okay. All right. Hey, all right. One more time, the website that we go to get this started.
We're going to bostonmarket.com. You've got a plethora of selections to choose from. Beautiful. And we just want everyone to have a great Thanksgiving.
Good. And it's, it doesn't just have to be for Thanksgiving. Give them a shout otherwise, because it's good stuff. Thank you so much.
Give us a shout. Come by and see us.
Beautiful. Tony,
we're here.
Have a great holiday for yourself, too. Hello, Steve.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
I'm great. It's Steve Perillo. He's with Perillo Tours. Obviously, we all know you, Steve. My God, or at least the Perillo name. The Perillo name has been around forever, huh?
My dad, Mario. Everyone remembers him. I hope.
Yeah, they do. And we turn to you guys as tourism experts here, because you bring us to parts of the country that are actually quite popular, but at an opportunity that most of us don't have an opportunity to do.
Especially Italy, and we make it affordable. That's really our thing. It's a tour. There's not many people, usually 20 couples, a few singles, and it's kind of luxury, but $3,000 or $4,000 for 10 days. It's a very, very, very good value. I think we really try hard to make it kind of fancy but affordable.
I mean, that's my quarterly property tax. I mean, not that that's cheap, but I'm just saying that's not a lot.
Yeah, in Italy, you could buy a flat panel TV, but you're not going to have memories about your flat panel TV. You're going to have, but Italy and the pictures and the people you meet and the people you go with, and you'll be talking about it for the rest of your life. Travel has got to be one of the top three things to do in our life.
Now, you do this year round. Is this coming up on the time of where travel is kind of not the big
Now October has become our biggest month. It used to be September.
Really?
So I kind of advise people against going when it's so busy, especially November, December, the off season, January. January, it's going to be 52 degrees during the day in Rome, 55 degrees, and there's no crowds. The prices are cut in half, and you feel just more Italian. There's just Italians floating around and drinking their cappuccinos in the morning at the cafes. It's really nice.
I like that.
Really. And my father used to say, you can go in the summer and spend $2,000 more, or you can buy yourself a $50 coat and go in January.
That's funny.
It's not bad.
Yeah, when we think about Italy, we think about Perillo. It's just the way it's been for so long. And it's actually the case. I mean, I think the Perillos know Italy better than the Italians do.
Probably because we've sent 1 million people there, so many thousands of people write back to us, give us suggestions, offer ideas, and then the Italians know us, our people. When we arrive in Italy, the Perillo buses, they've grown up seeing our buses all over the countryside.
That's cool.
So they call them Perillinis, the local people. And when you come under our banner, people know who you are. You're part of the family. Yeah. So it's a nice thing to do.
Well, I mean,
it's good to be a specialist in travel.
It is, and it's good to know what after all these years, what turns them on, and about the trip and what doesn't, and that's a great deal. What about different age groups? What if you're elderly? What if you're young? I mean, how does that meld together?
It depends on the time of year. In the summer, we get the kids. In the spring and the fall, we get older people. Motor coach tours are usually go a little older.
Good.
Of course, we have a complete custom Italy department, so we can book anything for you. We could even take you to any part of the country. But for the tours, they run a little older in the fall. And if you're single or you have a little hard time getting around, that's our specialty. We can help you. We can help you do it. Especially if you're single. How are you gonna? It's very hard to travel when you're alone. But on a tour, it's made for that. It's made for that.
Yeah, because you're meeting other people that have the exact same interest you have, and that's visiting Italy. So I mean,
by the third night, they're coming home from a restaurant. They've had plenty of wine, and they break out into song. By the third night, it happens with every group.
Hey,
they're singing by the.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know how to do it. I could do that across the street,
wine.
but it's the wine. It's the wine. You could just put them in a room, show movies of Italy, and they wouldn't know the difference. No, but they do.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
They do.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on that. How long has this been going on, by the way, just for those that may not be familiar?
Oh, my grandfather came over in 25 when Mussolini came to power. And then he started the company in 45, and then my father took over in 75. I took over in 2005. So we've been doing this for 75 years continuously.
Yeah.
So we really know it, and they know us, and it's a great destination. I got lucky. I mean, I could have had Romania as our country. Nothing against Romania, but Italy has so much to offer. Insanely, it's the size of Florida, and it's just one of those cities. Venice or Florence or anything, Sicily.
Yeah.
It's really an amazing place.
Has anybody ever tapped you on the shoulder and said, "Steve, you should be ambassador to Italy"?
You just did.
Okay.
Or did you?
Well, I think. Well, I did it in a way that wasn't direct, but that would probably work out.
I accept.
You accept. Oh, okay, fine. All right.
Well, you got to see their house in Rome, anyway.
I can imagine.
The ambassador's house.
So how do we get information about this? I have a feeling we got a lot of listeners that at least want to find out what's going on.
We have, I'm not here to do a hard sell, but we have a website, webpage full of tips. It's called perillotours.com /tips, TIPS.
Yeah.
And I have dozens of videos about all kinds of tips that I make. I make videos every couple of weeks. And so it's very interesting, and you can learn all about it. Whether you go with us or not, it's a great resource. So perillotours.com /tips.
perillotours.com. And the great thing is, may I paraphrase for you, is that traveling to Italy and European cities can be affordable, And it broadens your world, it broadens your mind. You're never the same because now you understand. Now you've stepped out of the country and you've seen what it's like, and you've seen what, that the romance and the way that people live, and who better to do it with. So I'll say that for you.
Thanks, Ron.
Steve, pleasure.
Well said.
A pleasure speaking to you, and continued success, sir. Hi, Alia. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Alia Dudham joins us now. She's a millennial money expert. I think you're a money expert with everything, though, aren't you?
That's right.
I would think so. Okay, I'm going to play stupid because maybe I'm not really even playing stupid. Maybe I really am. We're talking about YOLO. I don't know what that is.
YOLO. I will definitely help you.
Thank
YOLO
you.
Spending. It's that feeling that it's worth buying more than you otherwise would or want to buy because others are doing it. And so it definitely can have a lot of consequences on our wallets that we don't intend it to.
Okay. All right. Fine. And I guess we're coming up on a time of year where this would be a very topical situation.
We are. Sites like Instagram have conditioned us to want what we don't have. It's so easy to click. And we found that 1 in 4 millennials say social media posts cause them to spend more money than they weren't planning to spend. And YOLO spending has long-term consequences. Our survey, we did one recently, and it found that 60% of Americans have revolving credit card debt. More than half of Americans avoid learning about finances because it mentally drains them. And 2/3 of Americans don't have a consistent savings plan, which is causing many to be unprepared for an unexpected life event. And so if you think about it, the holiday season is where we're expected to spend at least $1,000. And that's a lot of money when a lot of us are still trying to pay for last holiday season.
Oh, it is. And it doesn't matter whether you go into a store or buy something online, although I assume in a store it's not as automatic and convenient as just clicking on something, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And online, they make it so convenient. So, you're in Boston, right? So I think the average credit card debt per person in Boston is around $6,000. So that's a lot of money when you think about going into the holiday season.
Okay. Well, now we know the problem. What do we do about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one is obviously to stick to a budget. I know that sounds really simple, but nearly half of millennials think that creating a budget and maintaining a budget is too much work. And so when you think about sticking to a budget, take stock of your short-term, long-term goals, your cash flow, understand what's happening. Grab a savings buddy or partner to help monitor with you and keep you accountable. Second, really refrain from the impulse. So before you click to buy, put that item into a cart, wait 72 hours. I do this a lot. It really helps. After it's in the cart, if you don't think about it in 72 hours, you didn't necessarily need it, so you can move on with your life and your wallet will thank you. But if you do buy it, then, at least you have that breathing room to think about the purchase and the money that you're going to be spending. And then you could ditch the apps. I know that sounds really intense, but you could do a tech cleanse or at least turn off the push notifications. I don't know about you, but I've already been seeing a lot of push notifications from all of the retailers that I subscribe to telling me to spend more this Black Friday holiday season. So definitely turn off those push notifications, and then don't increase the debt load. So if you think about that, a lot of us are still trying to pay for last holiday season, and shoppers increase their spending. Let's say they spend at least $1,500 this holiday season on gifts. That could take more than 8 years to pay off if you're just paying the minimum on a credit card. And so that's a lot of money. And while credit cards are great for convenience, they're a horrible way to borrow. And so if you do have to swipe this holiday season or purchase a big ticket item, definitely recommend taking out a personal loan. It's a more responsible way to borrow money versus a credit card that has high interest rates and can keep you in a revolving debt trap.
Big time. Credit cards, I don't even know if consumers even look at the terms of their credit cards, but they're like in way double digits. And yet if you take out a small loan from, whatever, and not on the credit card, it's like down to single digits on the lower end. So, I mean, it's so obvious, but I guess people don't do that. Are they scared of taking out those kinds of things?
I think credit cards are just really great for convenience, and I think that's part of it. And they're kind of designed to keep you away from your money. And so when you think about the value that you're getting for a certain good, I always like to pay cash if I can. If it is those larger ticket items, that's why we kind of suggest a personal loan. They oftentimes have lower interest rates, and they're fixed terms versus variable from a credit card. And so you kind of know what you're paying for. You have an end goal in sight. You're not adding to that revolving debt trap. And then once you are paid off that purchase in full or that personal loan in full, you can then take that money that you've been spending and put it into savings. Building up that nest egg is really, really important. And it's something that I think a lot of us don't think about when we're swiping the credit card. Yes, it's important to not increase the debt load, but on the flip side, it's important to make sure that we're increasing our savings. No
question about it. I mean, it's crazy. It's like buying a car and putting it on your credit card as opposed to taking out a personal loan or an auto loan, which is again in the lower single digits. It doesn't even make sense, but I don't know. I guess that's why you're here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I can help, it's really unconscious, right? That's part of what I'm trying to help people just talk through this holiday season is, it's so easy. We're on our phone. I think by the age of 72, we'll spend more than 3.5 million minutes on social media. That's a lot of time when we're sitting there swiping, and they make it easy, right? You can just purchase within the app.
Not only that, but they're out to get me. If I even search certain search engines, if I'm searching an item, I don't even buy it. For some reason, it picks up on that, and it sends me little ads on the right side of my screen like a couple of days later for the stuff I was searching for. Why are you doing that? That's like stalking me.
Absolutely. And that's how they get you, right?
Yes.
And then that purchase will continue to follow you. And so that's why I say, if you don't need it, wait 72 hours. Right. See if it's something that you actually want. Good. I do this all the time.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Leah. How do I get information on these things here?
Yeah, we have a ton of helpful content on our blog and resource center at lendingclub.com.
Okay, so Lending Club, check them out and see if they can help you out or give you some good ideas and avoid that credit card stuff. And purchasing, you could always take an annoying person with you wherever you go, but there's a downside to that. Okay, all right. And I have plenty of them. I just don't take them with me. Okay. All right, Leah, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me, Ron.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
How are you today, Claire?
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you here. Clare O'Connor is Bumble's editorial director. Now, you may not be familiar with Bumble, but Claire, tell us about that. This is a new thing.
Sure. Well, Bumble itself is not new. We've been around for almost 5 years at this point. But we are growing quickly, and what sets us apart is that we are the women's first dating app.
That's it.
So in heterosexual matches, women make the first move.
Interesting. So this is new to most people because this is especially for women because it's intimidating. Well, it's intimidating for men too, but online dating for women is you got to be a little extra careful, I guess.
Well, so I think what we've found is that by having women make the first move, you're sort of setting the tone for the rest of the conversation. And I think you're sort of making it clear that there's going to be propriety,
right,
and it's going to be respectful, we hope, anyway.
Yes.
But we really also have some features in place that we're hoping will help keep women and actually people of all genders safe.
Yes.
We actually managed to lobby the government in Texas, which is our home state. We're based in Austin. And as of September this year, it is now illegal in Texas, if you can believe this, to send an unsolicited lewd image to somebody.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, right? And I'm not going to use the cute term for the lewd image, but I think you probably know what I mean.
I pretty much have an idea, yeah.
I think so. But we actually did a survey last year in 2018, and we found that 1 in 3 women who used our platform had received an unsolicited lewd image, and 96% of these women were not happy to have received it.
Yeah.
So we thought, what is going on here? Why is this legal? Why can you, if you're going to ride the subway, right, and you're going to drop trow,
Yep.
that's you're susceptible to a fine or even being jailed.
I would think.
So why is it okay? Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So why is it okay to send that same image via a DM or a text or whatever? So we got that passed through. It was completely unanimous, bipartisan in Texas, and we're going to take it federal, we hope.
Good.
But on Bumble, there are no sending lewd images,
and
we actually have a new feature called Private Detector, because we think we're cute and funny, which uses AI technology to actually automatically blur those kinds of images.
Oh.
We don't want folks to have to, if they don't want to see it, they shouldn't see it.
Interesting.
So that's one of the ways we're using technology to help keep our folks safe.
All right. How is it done differently from other sites besides that? Are there limits as to how many people you can meet or how many you would want to meet, that kind of thing?
No, there's no limits. You can meet as many people as you would like. I think one thing that we do that is actually another kind of relatively new feature to help keep our folks safe is we have, within our app, we have video and phone chat. So what you can do is use our app to meet folks, whether it's, you want to use a video, you want to use a call. You don't have to give out your number, because we don't want people to have to part with their personal information to meet somebody.
That's most important. That's
right.
That's
you
a
don't
good
want to give
deal.
your number out to a stranger.
No matter what. I mean, maybe it'll work out, but maybe it won't. And then you Yeah. Okay. And you also have advice that goes along with it about how to actually meet up with these people should you decide to do that.
Yeah. So I think, first of all, it's obviously a good thing to set the tone by doing this either like a phone chat or a video chat first without giving your info away. But I think some of this stuff is really common sense. But, sometimes we forget that, like, you're meeting someone on Bumble or one of these apps, and you're imbued with trust, but I think you should still be really careful.
Yes.
You're still meeting a stranger.
Yes.
So we always recommend meeting in a public place, whether that's a coffee shop, whether that's a well-lit public park, whether that's a bar. But also tell someone where you're going.
Yeah, good point.
Just text your sister, your best friend.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'm going to be at this bar probably from 8 till 10. I'm meeting someone off this dating app that, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
But there's also something actually a little bit more techy you can do beforehand, just to make sure you're actually meeting who you think you're meeting.
Okay.
So we have an anti-catfish photo verification tool.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, right? So what we do is we have somebody, basically it changes every few days, but we'll have a person sort of like make a move, whether it's putting their hands up or crossing their hand over their chest or something.
Yeah.
And we'll have our photo verification team make sure it's them. So it's kind of like taking the pre-screen out of it for you.
Nice.
Yeah, and making sure that's who they say they are.
That is something that is also a problem otherwise. You know what I like about this, and this isn't a sexist comment, but women date men for more than just appearance mostly. It's for personality, communication,
well, yeah, I don't think
how
that's
they listen.
I think that's a good thing.
Well, sometimes guys just look. I mean, that's how Facebook started. It was just a contest of good-looking women from a hacked Harvard computer. So
well, that is true.
Guys go, "Oh, she's pretty. I want to meet her." But women, it sounds like if they do the picking, that it might be more of a true connection than otherwise. And whether that's the case or not, I think that's a good thing.
Well, you know what? I hope so. And there's always outliers.
Well, sure.
But
sure.
we really, really do hope that by having women make the first move, we are setting a tone from the start. And we really hope that, especially in a heterosexual match, it's different, obviously, for women who meet women, men who meet men, non-binary people, trans people. But we really hope that for women meeting men, the kind of man who's okay to be on Bumble is okay for women to make the first move.
It's fine. Women
that's a tone of equality from the start.
That's a great idea. Women are going to run the relationship anyway, so might as well start it that way. Who said that?
I'm not going to argue with that.
Who said that? I didn't say that. Okay. So it's Bumble, and it's going to become more of a household word, and it won't be new to people at that point. Now, how do we get more information about this? Because I think this is going to fuel a lot of interest.
Oh, I really hope so. Well, Bumble.com, check it out. There's a lot of information on our site, and also you can just go to the App Store or Google Play, search Bumble, download the app, check it out, and we hope you'll enjoy it.
Claire, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and it's been fun.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Hey, Ron.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Dan Brunn joins us. He's founder of Dan Brunn Architecture, owner and designer of the Bridge House. We'll tell you about that in a second. And Jensen Chapman is with us. He's a solar expert, sun power. Okay. Well, we're talking about some innovations in saving money and making your home more efficient. Some simple steps that can be taken. First of all, we referred to Bridge House. What is Bridge House?
Yeah, so Bridge House is a new concept of ours in the center of LA. Really, it's a forward-thinking, environmentally friendly home that literally, from the name, it's a bridge that's a home. There's an existing creek right underneath it, and it spans 65 feet over that.
Wow.
But really, what we wanted to do was have homeowners, architects, developers rethink what the suburban home could be, and thinking about passive usage of technologies and energy.
That's a different concept because houses are built kind of old school these days. Maybe some more technology involved in the appliances and how you turn the lights on and stuff. But as far as it being green and more energy efficient, kind of not so far, right?
Correct. I agree. And, for us, it started with the way the house is actually built and how it's situated on the site. So to start with, it is a unique site. It's 260 feet long, and the house itself is 210 feet long. But what we did is situate the house on the south side of the property with all the major windows facing north.
Right.
That way you reduce the amount of heat just right from the get-go. So that's just thinking, without even using different materials.
Right.
But then the house is actually built out of recycled steel content. So the house is using a kit of parts, 90% recycled steel just to do that. It's also highly, highly, highly insulated, more so than you see a typical home. And then on top of which, in order to generate energy, we have solar on the roof.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. Is it a ranch style or a two-story or what?
It's actually, it's a good question. It's a one-story modern home.
Good.
It has a basement on one end, but it's, to describe it, it's basically, as I said, 210 feet long, 20 feet wide.
Yeah.
14 feet tall, so it's just really just this one long monolithic kind of look.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. I know it's more efficient cost-wise to build up as opposed to a long foundation. But, I mean, half the population in the United States is sick of going upstairs, to be honest with you. So,
I agree.
yeah, I'm serious. But, yeah. Okay. We don't have homes like that. Hopefully someday soon we will, or it'll be available to us in quantity. But in the meantime, what can we do in our simple, modest homes here? There are some simple technologies that we've implemented here. And it starts off, I would say, with our smart connected thermostat. And why I like it is simple. I have it set in the morning, so when I wake up, it's a nice, let's say toasty 72 degrees. Yeah.
And then by the time I leave, I could easily get that turned off on my phone to get it to turn off and not use energy, not use any of the energy that's produced on site through solar. And then, we have smart light switches that connected to our LED lights that also use a lot less energy. So these are things that any homeowner could implement, by going to a shop or ordering online. Within 20 minutes, you're all set and running. And then on top of which, you could add, solar to your existing home too, which is amazing. And we need to think about that.
I know, but a lot of people, I mean, there are a lot of marketers around the country who try to, get to people's homes to show them what's available. But I think most consumers are saying, there might be a big expense up front. They tell me that eventually I'll be saving money in energy costs, in the long run. So it quote unquote pays for itself. That's a phrase that's used all the time. But is it a very expensive venture to to install, to initiate?
I think Jensen could get to that.
Yeah, I mean, it starts locally at your stores or online for the proper lighting and such, which comes at a small cost, but it does indeed pay for itself in a short amount of time.
Okay.
When it comes to investing in a solar system for your home, there's now different ways, rather than having to put some upfront cost up. You can redirect money you're already spending on your electric bill towards your own fixed cost solar investment.
Well, that makes sense.
And those rates are usually less than what the utility is currently selling you power for.
Utilities.
And on top of which, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was going to say that the utility costs only go up at large increments every year anyway, and sometimes even more than once a year. That's a given, right?
It seems inevitable.
Yes, death taxes, and utility costs.
But there's also a real feel-good thing to it. You know, I have the SunPower system has like an app, and I can look up every day, and I can see how much carbon footprint I've offset, how many trees I've essentially virtually planted, how many miles of gasoline less I've used. That feels good every day. You know. That's
true. Do you have to have a certain direction that the roof is facing in order for it to be successful, or do people in Seattle say it rains too much, there's no sunlight here?
Well, my mom told me to wear sunblock even on a sunny day, or on a cloudy day.
Correct. Right.
But to answer your question, the solar panels, the most optimal position would be anywhere south facing.
Yep.
And that goes pretty much for here, the Western Hemisphere. We've worked with roof types or all throughout the country. And as long as there's, a good amount of sunlight throughout a typical annual period, then homeowners can generate their own clean energy at a cost less than what their electric bill looks like.
All right.
Yeah, and one of the things I would add to that is that's really, really neat is that, we think of solar panels to be a certain size and a certain efficiency, and that's changed dramatically. So with the SunPower system, for example, it's about 50% the panel size of what it used to be.
Yes.
So even if you have like a traditional home, you possibly will find a good place to place that system.
I was going to say that because if you go to certain areas, you'll see the older panels from decades ago, and they are obvious. Then you see the ones that are being installed now, and they are sleek as the roof itself. You really can't tell the difference. They are so thin.
I agree.
And those are actually attractive.
Absolutely. No, it's changed dramatically. And it's like an everyday kind of a thing.
Very
nice.
Now
we're also we're thinking about storing energy and that too. That's a whole new technology that I'm looking forward to implementing on other homes.
Absolutely. That's the key to everything is storing energy.
I think so.
Yeah, there's no question. And then I think people are going to start changing to solar like in droves when that becomes obvious. In the meantime, we need some tips and some ideas, and maybe even have somebody visit and say, hey, this is what I can do for you. And that is available, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Jensen, on their website, there's a tool.
That's right. Anyone can visit sunpower.com, type in their own address, and really have some fun with our design tool to see how many panels they may need based on the amount of electricity they pay for, and see what it looks like and how much money they can save. Or to visit Dan's project.
Yeah, you could go to bridgehousela.com and you could see what we've done and how you could start thinking about how to implement it in your home or a new home or whatever you want.
Perfect. Well, thanks for all the information.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Good speaking to you. It's been a pleasure. You take care.
Likewise.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hey, Tom.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Tom Segura joins us now. He's a comedian, worldwide, all over the place. And he's a writer, an actor, a podcaster. Tom, what don't you do?
Cartwheels, backflips. I can jump pretty high, but
that's about it. All right. We're talking about appreciation for others, that kind of thing. How did you get involved with this, Tom?
Well, I saw some of my comedian friends who were all normally very snarky, sarcastic, jabbing insults at each other and everyone. I saw them participating in this Sam Adams campaign, and I just jumped into it, which was pretty cool because it's a departure from what we normally do, and it's a very positive thing. So it's like, where we normally just insult each other nonstop and everyone around us. This is like a moment to be like, hey, the idea is to, tap a friend, a family member, a coworker, a neighbor, and just express gratitude, appreciation, raise a glass, toast them, crack open a couple Sam Adams, if you will, and just say like, look, man, I appreciate what you do. I participated. It was fun. I think it's one of those things that like it could easily be a huge viral positive sensation if someone just takes the moment to do it. So all you got to do is just literally not overthink it. Just think about people in your life who are meaningful to you and just tap.
Just tap them.
Hey, I know you're there all the time, but I don't tell you enough that you're great.
Okay. I don't know if I want to touch these people, but I will drink a beer with them.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to.
No, I don't want to touch them.
There you go. You don't have to touch them.
I don't want to touch them.
You can whisper and just say, hey, I need to tell you something, and then tell them.
Right.
You don't have to get physical.
It's even creepier to say I would like to touch you, but I really shouldn't. That's even worse. Your brand of humor is interesting. I've seen many of your specials on Netflix, and you have a dry, a straight kind of delivery, which is hilarious. Certainly, what I appreciate.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's a good time. Okay, so it is the holiday season, so that gives us kind of an impotence to, so to speak, to do this, because you're supposed to feel a little warm and fuzzy toward people this time of year.
Yeah, I think it's the perfect time to launch this kind of thing. I mean, it'd be great if we always were doing this year round, but it's a good way to get, like I said, into that holiday spirit.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, I think people overthink these kinds of things. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Yeah. It's really not that complicated. It's just about, you stop, you think about who's in your life, what you have, you just appreciate it, and you want to tell them.
That's cool.
A bunch of us have done it. I feel like it can really roll into something bigger if more people do it, because you end up feeling good that you express gratitude, and I promise the people that you tell enjoy it too.
It's good. It's a great idea. And this is through the Sam Adams people that they came up with this campaign, I guess.
Yep, they did. Yeah, they have all the info at samueladams.com.
Okay.
You can you can hit them up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. They're at Samuel Adams Beer. And you grab a couple of Boston lagers, raise a toast to somebody. Yeah. You can tag them, or you can hashtag if you want to see other people doing it. Their hashtag is toast someone. Yeah. But yeah, it was their idea, and I think it's really fun.
Nice.
And it's positive. It's nice to do something that's a positive spin.
Yes, in this world of division and not positive, and I hope someday that changes. We have to take it upon ourselves to keep connected to people, because everything seems to be pushing us away, and that would be my comment on the whole thing. Let's talk about you for a change here. What projects are you working on?
I shot another Netflix special on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So that'll come out in a few months. Yeah.
Where did you do where did you do that?
I shot it in Austin.
Ah.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Great town. So I started at the Moody Theater at Austin City Limits, and then it comes out in a few months. I'm doing a bunch of podcasts, on my network. So we have a bunch of shows that we produce every week.
Wonderful.
They're on YouTube. They're downloadable.
Wonderful.
So I do one with Christina P., Your Mom's House. I do one with Bert Kreischer called Two Bears, One Cave. And we produce Dr. Drew's and Ryan Sickler's as well. So
wonderful.
They're all here, and keep us very busy.
Wonderful. So how do we follow you? I mean, not in a, you know what I mean.
Yeah, if you go to tomsegura.com, has my tour dates, so you can see me live. Fine. And then I'm on Twitter at Tom Segura. I'm on Instagram at Segura Tom, because a 21-year-old British boy named Tom Segura took that handle.
I got you, bastard. Okay, and then he'll sell it to you probably for like $5,000.
Actually, I met him. I was in London a couple weeks ago. I took him to the movies. Yeah.
And he wouldn't just give it to you?
No, I didn't. I didn't. We kind of talked about it, and he was just like,
obstinate.
I mean, I'm sure he would give it if I, whatever. It was like, I gotta have it. But at this point, I was like, I think I'm all right. So you can have it.
That's very nice. See, you've become a kind person. That's nice, I guess.
Yeah. Not too nice.
Not too nice.
I'm all right.
Just in that case. Okay. Hey, Tom, it was
great.
Check
out my dance video. Oh. You won't think I'm too nice then.
Well, no, all right. Okay, so now you got to tell me where the dance video is.
It's on YouTube. If you just go on YouTube and you type in Tom Segura, it's on my page. It's called Tom Segura Dances to Missy Elliott's Throw It Back, and it's a dance video that's out right now.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right, Tom. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. One more time, that website about the Sam Adams campaign.
Yeah, just go to SamuelAdams.com, SAMUEL Adams.com, and it's all there.
Okay, have a great holiday season, Tom.
You too, my man. Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Hello, Ron.
Hello, Doctor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Dr. Charu Aggarwal joins us now, and we're talking about, those with living with stage 4 lung cancer. Tell me again, before we begin, what stage 4 actually is.
Yeah, so let's begin by talking about lung cancer.
All right.
It's the most common cause of cancer-related deaths in the United States.
Right.
Every year, about 200,000 or more adults will get diagnosed with this disease. And non-small cell lung cancer is one of the most common types of lung cancer. About 85% of all lung cancers are non-small cell lung cancer. Mm-hmm. And in fact, the majority of all non-small cell lung cancers will get diagnosed with stage 4 disease.
Really?
And stage 4 disease literally means that the cancer is no longer confined to the chest cavity and has traveled outside, or the more common term being metastatic disease.
Right. How is it diagnosed to the point where you discover it's stage 4? Were there prior diagnoses otherwise, or is that the first diagnosis sometimes?
Unfortunately, for lung cancer, stage 4 is often the first diagnosis.
Really?
Because it's also called the invisible cancer. Patients may not have symptoms until very late in their disease, when they present with cough or shortness of breath, weight loss, and then we usually do imaging with a CAT scan and find the cancer.
Huh. Why is there no testing prior to that ever? That doesn't show up in blood tests, obviously.
That's an excellent question. And actually, there is now research showing that screening for high-risk individuals for lung cancer may actually speed up or find earlier stage cancers than actually finding it in the stage 4 setting. Yeah.
And when you say susceptible, would that be genetic or smoking the cigaretto?
So currently, the screening is recommended for patients that have smoking history. But we know that smoking is not the only risk factor. And that's really what gets us to the issue of trying to personalize care for patients that may not have a smoking-related cancer. Because, in fact, incidence of cancer, especially lung cancer, amongst never smokers is on the rise. And we're seeing a lot of patients with almost a never smoking history, now experiencing
Really?
lung cancer. So now the only risk factor to have lung cancer is to have lungs.
That's not good.
That's not.
Yeah, because I was going to say everybody over the age of 40 smoked at some point in their life because that's the way society was. But my goodness, now you just have to have lungs. That's everybody. Okay. Is it a genetic situation?
So it's not genetic, but there are certain mutations, and by mutation I mean there's a switch in the lung cells, for example, that may drive that lung cell to continue to replicate and multiply and become cancerous. And now research has shown us that we can actually detect these mutations by biomarker testing of either the tissue or blood even, find out what the genetic makeup is of that person's lung cancer, and actually really in a precise way deliver cancer personalized to their individual tumor, which is fantastic.
Well, let's talk about something positive. Are there advances for stage 4 lung cancer where, well, there might be some encouraging news?
Absolutely, and I don't mean to put a damper on anything. In fact, today, more than ever, we are so excited with all of the advances that we have in lung cancer. For example, I was just talking to you about personalizing care, and recently we saw data from a large clinical trial for patients with a specific type of mutation in non-small cell lung cancer. This EGFR mutation, or this mutation in epidermal growth factor receptor, that can actually be more commonly prevalent in patients who've never smoked. And we found from this clinical trial that patients, when treated with an oral therapy called osimertinib, tended to live much longer compared to them receiving an older therapy like either erlotinib or gefitinib. And they were also able to delay the recurrence or the progression of their cancer. Very well tolerated, and offers a significant advance in the way we treat patients.
All right. Is there anything we can do as people that have lungs to somehow lessen the possibility of this diagnosis? Something we can do in our daily lives, or exercises, or something that would bring our percentage of this down?
So we researchers and physicians quite don't know what triggers lung cancer yet, and it's an active area of research. I always advise my patients, if you're having new or unusual symptoms, contact your doctor. Don't sit on a cough or shortness of breath. If you're experiencing symptoms, go get them checked out. Okay.
I mean, because everybody, once you hit 50 years old, everything is the same. Things don't work the way they used to their highest efficiencies. Going upstairs at 50, 60 years old is not like it was when it was 20. It's hard to distinguish.
True, but I think there still is that internal sense of, when it's not just age-related. And that's what I caution people about, that, if you have an internal sense that this is just not right, go get it checked out.
I'm still having trouble distinguishing that and gas, to be honest with you. Everything seems to mirror gas for some reason. So, I mean, you don't know, but I guess the bottom line is, and what you're saying is, check it out. I mean, everybody should have health insurance these days. Use it.
But I will leave you with this piece of information that you will find maybe slightly uplifting.
Oh, good.
For the first time in a decade, 5-year survival rates from lung cancer have increased by 26%. So even though we are, diagnosing more patients, our ability to really personalize care for patients has improved significantly.
Good.
And research has come a long way. We can avoid chemotherapy for a certain subset of patients. We can avoid immunotherapy.
Good.
We're able to offer drugs like pills that people take at home once a day.
Good.
And they really have improved outcomes.
Very good.
So I don't want you to take this from the interview that lung cancer is bad. In fact, we are actually doing a much better job than we did ever before.
And that perhaps is the message, isn't it?
That's absolutely the message.
Okay,
yes.
Very good. How do we get more information about this?
So I would say that if you have any questions, always talk to your physician, talk to your doctor. Information on the clinical trial that I mentioned can be found on the drugs website on tagrisso.com.
Very good. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hi, Ron.
Hey, Alia, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing this morning?
Not so bad. Alia Datal joins us now. She is my favorite kind of person to talk to because she's a chef, and that's my thing. So this is fun for me. I always enjoy talking about food. Now, the holidays are coming up, quite a few of them, as a matter of fact, and I get scared because when I walk away from them, I get fat and bloated, and I get scared about that. It takes me months and months to deal with that afterwards. So I'm always looking forward to talking to somebody who can tell me how to eat healthy and yet happily.
Yeah, that's my thing. So I really love being able to take some of those, decadent holiday dishes, make them a little bit healthier. But like you said, I'm a chef, so I am all about flavor and texture and taking care of people. So I do have some tips to share with you.
Please.
If you are interested in doing the same. Yeah.
Please. Yes, let's go.
Sure. So one of my favorite things to focus on with holiday food is using fresh seasonal ingredients. So a lot of those dishes we associate with the holidays aren't necessarily using ingredients that are at their peak flavor. So I'm thinking of things like butternut squash and Brussels sprouts and chestnuts and pomegranates and sweet potatoes. All of those ingredients are super fresh right now, so you actually don't need to add quite as much butter and salt and sugar to really bring out their flavor. So after ingredients, I also like to look at cooking technique. So one of the reasons we love those, that creamy gravy and heavy mashed potatoes and all of that stuff is because we love that really rich, creamy texture. So one way I mimic that without using all the cream and butter is using a really high quality blender. So my new favorite is the KitchenAid K400 blender because I can take butternut squash soup, not add a drop of cream, and just get a really, really silky, smooth soup. I'll also take, this one might sound a little crazy to you, Ron, but I can take cauliflower, blend it up with maybe a little bit of almond milk and maybe some garlic and make a really creamy cream sauce, but using something like cauliflower. It's kind of cool.
I'll have anything with a sauce on it. I'm sorry, I'm sauce crazy. All right. What about, let's talk about some of the big holiday dishes that we typically do that maybe we can do them a little healthier.
Sure. So when you're talking about, obviously people think of turkey, but I know a lot of families do other kinds of roast meats. Or even roast vegetables. That's another one of my favorite ways to prepare vegetables. And my big tip for getting texture on all of those oven roasted foods is to turn your oven up. A lot of people are, roasting Brussels sprouts at like 375 degrees or squash or even their turkey. But if you want that nice texture, you got to turn your oven up. So I would say at least to 425 or 450. That helps give you that nice crispy edge. At least for vegetables, you can do that for the whole cooking. For meats, you want to do that at least for part of the cooking to get that nice browning. So that's the way you can take, same recipe, but just by using your technique, get a little bit better of a texture.
When you do that with a turkey, for example, or with meats, do you do the higher temperature first or do you do the higher temperature last?
You can. There'll be recipes that you'll see going either way. But for me, one way that I think is a little bit more foolproof is to do it at the beginning so that you can see that the color on the skin. And then if you're worried about it getting too brown, just take a piece of aluminum foil and tent it over. And that way you'll make sure that you don't get it burned at all.
Okay, cool. Now, what about some of these dessert things? Is there a better way to make those?
Sure. So yeah, cutting sugar, I know in my family, we love our sweets, but there's also a lot of people with, maybe diabetes or people who just don't, necessarily be wanting to eat that much sugar. So I like to use natural sweeteners. So I'll use maybe maple syrup instead of sugar. But another cool tool that I like is the vegetable sheet cutter attachment that goes with the KitchenAid stand mixer. So I can take apples and make really, really long sheets of them. And so instead of doing, an apple pie that might be mostly crust, I can do like a really cool apple tart that's just like sheets and sheets of apple. That same tool allows me to make like little appetizers that I can like roll up in apple sheets or sweet potato sheets, so that I'm not using so many of those carb heavy doughs. So I know in my family it's a little bit about the sugar, but a little bit about all that flour too. So that's one way I cut that down.
Very cool. So if you use the proper equipment, you can do a lot of things with one tool.
Definitely, yeah. And like for me, I actually, admission, you know, I'm a chef, but I'm not a baker. So that stand mixer, I know a lot of people are using, you know, making cookies and cakes and all this stuff that time of year, but I actually use it a lot more for the attachments because I love the savory food. So grinding my own meat, making those, you know, cool little sheet cutter appetizers. Love just playing around with different things.
Right. What part of the country are you in? Are you in New York City?
No, I'm actually here in Chicago. At the World of Whirlpool. So I teach cooking classes here, and just love playing around with food.
Yeah. The reason I mention that is that when the winter comes, we get into the comfort food thing, and comfort foods usually involve fat. I think that's the definition of comfort is fat. And you know, in the summer I'm good with it because I have little items and you know small little bites and things, salads. Winter, no, it's the heavy crap, and that's what scares me.
In Chicago, we definitely have a type of, we like our heavier food, and, you know, maybe you do need a couple extra pounds of that winter weight here. But I would say you can definitely still have salads in the winter. One of the reasons they don't seem so appealing is because, typically salads are made with all cold, wet food, and so it's the last thing you want to eat in the winter. But one thing that I'll do instead of using like mixed greens or baby greens, I'll use a hearty green like kale. And so I can make like a really awesome dressing in the blender, coat it, and that kale will really just soak up the dressing, and you can make it a day ahead, 2 days ahead, even for a holiday meal. And it'll really stand up to your other dishes, like a roast turkey or a roast. And so it kind of fits with the meal better. So it'll be a little bit more appealing.
Well, I wish I could spend 7 hours with you and learn how to, you know, do this nicely, but I don't have that kind of time. So where would I go to get more information here?
Sure. You can go to KitchenAid.com for some recipe inspiration as well as for a little bit more information about our products.
And how does someone follow your tips and suggestions?
Sure. You can find me at AliaDalal.com.
Okay. That's AliaDalal. And thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure.
You too.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. Hey, that was awesome. Hey, thanks for hanging in there. More shows like right next to this one. Yeah, new ones too. Yeah, so I'll be back with you real soon. Until then, thank you to all my guests who participated in today's interview special. Back to the regular stuff. Until then, I wish you peace.